Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. An absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you today, Walter. How are you? Okay.
I'm very good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Maybe you could just kick off with a brief introduction to the story, which of course you wrote in a novel and it now adapted for the screen, The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. What can people expect if they tune into the series?
Well, the last days of Ptolemy Gray is about a very old man who's entering into dementia, whose life is kind of disintegrating around him. There are some people in his life who really care about him, and then there are other people who don't. If something doesn't happen soon, really everything's going to fall apart. Uh, what happens is that there's a doctor. He's a poor black man in Georgia. There's a doctor who's doing not quite legal experiments on people, but he comes to him and the people that he's with, and he says, "Look, you have dementia. It's just going to get worse. You could live the next 10 years, but I have a medicine. I can give you this medicine, and you will have all of your memories back, but you'll probably only live about 6 more weeks." He's honest. He's not trying to trick him. He's honest. He's like, you're going to die. My main character, Ptolemy Gray, says there are things I need to do and there are things I need to remember. So I'll do it. And that's the story. The story is how these people around him respond to him before dementia and then after, uh, and how he tries to put his life back together.
And understand it has a very sort of personal route for you in terms of the experiences you had with your own parents, but also for Samuel Jackson, who I believe since he's read the book when it came out over 10 years ago, really wanted to see this put on the screen. So maybe you can tell us a bit about the genesis of the project and the personal attachment both you and Samuel Jackson have to it.
Well, I wrote the book about a dozen years ago. 10 years ago, Sam came to me and he said, "I read the book. I love the book. The book talks about my life." And he explained to me what my book said, and he was right. And he said, "I want to be Ptolemy Gray." And I went, "Well, okay." This is a no-brainer. That part was easy, and then the next 10 years happened. Who's going to do it? How's going to do it? Who's going to pay for it? The business. But Sam was connected to it the whole way. He was truly an executive producer. He would take any meeting. He would go any place. They say, "Well, are you going to be able to take time?" Because he makes movies all the time. He said, "I'm going to make the time. I'm going to make the movie. The series. I'm going to make it happen." And he did. He actually when we started shooting it, Sam was going over the book again and again. He knew it better than I knew it. I would do something. He said, "No, no, that's not what you said. You said this." And I went, "Oh, really? Okay." And that was a great experience. It's wonderful when something is truly collaborative, when you're really working together and something is happening. You're not working against each other. You're working for each other.
And what was it like having him in that role? I mean, he's quite transformed. I mean, of course, we see him at different ages, and he really seems to put his heart and soul into it. So, what was it like having him in the film? And what do you hope people take away from watching it, thinking about the pandemic we've just been through and feelings of isolations and looking out for other people seem more important than ever?
Sam did a great job. And Sam's a great actor. He does things that I couldn't even imagine, just things he does with his eyes. It's amazing to me. I watch it, go, wow, I would never even think to say we want this, and that was really beautiful. The only problem I ever had, at one point, there was the makeup. They had the makeup on Sam, and he came out, and I was looking at him, and they said, "So what do you think? What do you think about how much we've aged him?" I said, "Well, now he looks as old as he really is." But I need him to be 20 years older than that, and they did it. It was really wonderful. And what was the question? Was the last question about
Oh, just like what people will
what
take
people take it
away.
away? You know, I the only thing I need from people for the book, and also now for the series, is to take it in. I believe that most people who watch this are going to see it reflected in their own life, and that they're going to feel an empathy for this person in a way that they may not have felt before. If you can do those two things, it's in your head, right? Once it's in your head, it's going to change who you are. And that's all I need. What exactly you take away, I don't know. That's up to who you are, what your experience is. But I think that it will lead you in the right direction.
It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much. Can't wait for everyone else to watch this incredible series. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.